Welcome everyone to the Phoenix Report. I am Jack Connor, and it's been a while since I've done a wrestling podcast. In fact, I haven't done one since January. And as I record this, it is Wednesday, April 26th, 2017. Now, Wrestlemania 33 has come and gone, and and I'm sure there are a million other podcasts right now that came out the week of, talking about WrestleMania, everyone giving their thoughts. The truth is, it's a little tough to get everybody together to carve out enough time to talk about this stuff like that. You know, contrary to popular belief, some of us wrestling fans have jobs, have families, and have other things going on. But that doesn't mean we don't want to talk about it now. And, you know, even though it's been a few weeks out, a few months out, it's still the biggest show of the year. It was still a really incredible experience, and I was lucky enough to be there in person myself. As many of you know, this podcast is based out of Orlando, Florida, and that's, you know, where WrestleMania was this year. So that's where I managed to go, and some of the people here managed to join me. Starting off with the Cory Graves to my Byron Saxton, Brian Connolly.
Wow, you're updating your references now. I'm impressed.
I try to mix it up a little bit. Of course, we always have the professor, Cory W.
I am not technically a professor in terms of a diploma, but I think I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Looking forward to talking WrestleMania.
I mean, if they can call Tom Pritchard a doctor, you know, you should at least be up there or something. I don't know who's handing out those medical degrees or PhDs or whatever, but
Tom Pritchard once referred to me as the drizzling shits, I'm proud to say.
Wow. Oh, I forgot to mention to your many attributes, you were a former FCW referee, Brian Connolly.
For a brief minute in time, yes.
Yeah, you were. Hey, we still count it. And joining us is a return guest, the food truck guru of Tampa Bay, Florida, from Generation Food Truck, Mr. Jeremy Gomez.
You mean the world, sir? The world.
I mean, one city at a time. Yeah, no problem, man.
City. Then tonight we take over the world. Thanks for having me, man. Always fun.
Anytime, man. I feel like we're Pinky in the Brain right now. Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
I'm the brain.
I've never heard of them. I don't know what you're talking about.
Wow. I forget. You're such a young man that those references escape you.
It's actually younger than me, so I'm surprised I do.
That's true. I guess kind of went in reverse there, but 90s references aside, WrestleMania weekend. It was a pretty impressive thing, and you know, I know that from talking to everybody, I know not everybody was really that excited about the build up to this thing. I think that's putting it mildly.
Oh no,
there was a build up.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was. I mean, you know, it seemed like a lot of the matches on this thing, it didn't seem like they were that thrown together. Like, a bunch of the main events, at least, seemed like they were building for a while, and maybe they didn't quite necessarily build in the way we all wanted them to. But, you know, I gotta say, it's like, you know, looking back on them, I think most of these had sort of a long-standing feud or storyline behind them. At least more than not, I would have to say. Do you guys agree with that at all, or am I the only one thinking this?
I think it was a long build-up, man. I don't think it was so much a build-up for WrestleMania. I think it was, like you said, they were already going. So I think it was kind of a long build-up that we weren't used to. But it was cool. Right.
Well, I mean, before we get into the main show, I definitely want to go around and, you know, just I know that ideally in a perfect world I would have been able to get everybody together in Orlando and have some sort of like big meetup before the show, or like a tailgate party or cookout thing. Obviously that didn't happen. Everyone kind of went and did their own thing, but that's kind of understandable when you have a show with 75,000 people outdoors. It's really hard to like get multiple groups of people together. So I don't begrudge anyone for that. It's just one of those things where it's just unfortunately that happened. Cory, I know that you in particular decided not to come down. You're based out of Tennessee, I know. But you didn't want to fly down, mainly because you weren't too terribly happy with the product right now. Having seen the show, how do you feel about that decision? Do you think that you would have enjoyed it better had you been here?
No, not particularly. There were other factors that contributed to me not coming, but In terms of making it an easy decision to make, my rationalization was, well, the build-up hasn't been too good this year. I felt that it wasn't, but that's just me looking at the roster that WWE has right now and the event that they could have had, perhaps. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I still enjoyed the whole weekend watching from afar.
Good. Well, that's good. I'm definitely glad you at least got something out of it, because I was, I understood your decision not to come down. It is a lot of money. It is a lot of expense, and time off of work and that sort of thing. So while I was disappointed that you weren't down here to hang out with us, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Most definitely, man.
So, Jeremy, I know you weren't able to make the show. You're probably busy with maybe work or the kids or things at home. Is there anything you could elaborate on about that?
Honestly, I haven't gotten to go to a WrestleMania before, and obviously I've always wanted to go to a WrestleMania. And even though I probably understood that it was going to be Taker's last match, and even though I thought that the Hardys were going to come back and everything else combined into that wanting to go, I always kind of wanted the first WrestleMania I go to be with my daughters, or my children, which happen to be daughters, so I'm kind of holding out for that.
Gotcha. And they're still pretty young, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's gonna.
How old are they?
So, 5 and 3 last weekend, man.
Okay. So yeah, they're still a couple years away, probably from that being an appropriate thing to take.
Well, see, here's the thing: they're already wrestling fans, and they're already UFC fans, and like Walking Dead fans.
Oh yeah.
And Friday the 13th fans and stuff like that, but they do kind of really dig wrestling, so I know that they'll be very into it, so I wanted that to be like, seriously, I wanted to be a family surprise, man. I'll live to see another one. It'll be back.
True. Yeah, no, I know, Cory, you and I went to WrestleMania 28 in Miami a couple years ago, and that was a really fun experience. Brian, you and I went 9 years ago when WrestleMania 24 was in Orlando at that very same venue, the Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, we saw the very last match of the Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
Yeah, that was an incredible moment. A lot of really cool stuff happened at that pay-per-view too. Like CM Punk winning the Money in the Bank for, I think it was his first time winning that.
Yep.
There was Undertaker versus Edge. There were a couple other matches like Big Show versus Floyd Mayweather, which was a huge publicity event.
Oh boy.
This WrestleMania didn't quite have as much in the way of like celebrity cameos. Because I remember like at 24 you had like John Legend and Kim Kardashian and Snoop Dogg and a lot of these people making appearances there as well. And it's this year, Rob Gronkowski showed up, but there was that girl Tinashe who sung the America the Beautiful, whatever. But really, not much in the way of like celebrity stuff this year.
You're forgetting Pitbull and Flo Rida.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, I mean, that's yeah, me either. I was gonna say that's a relative popularity term there. So
actually, that now qualifies for my. That thing on Facebook today is which artist have you not seen? I could say Pitbull or Flo Rida.
Or Lunch Money Lewis, whoever the hell that is.
Oh, God. That's sad but true. But that was very unnecessary.
But yeah, and segueing into that point, Brian, you were there. But you were there under pretty interesting circumstances. Did you want to share how you managed to get into the Camping World Stadium during that weekend?
Around the same time I talked to Cory, he said he wasn't coming. I mean, for me, it was a money issue. We're not millionaires like most other WWE fans seem to be. With all the events going on that weekend, I was like, oh my God. I know even Vader was doing a Q&A for like $50 one night. And I was like, I don't have the money for this. I'd like to go, but no, I pretty much, resigned to the fact that I wasn't going. And the weekend of, I got an offer to sell merch with a friend. So basically we would be working for like 3 or 4 hours selling programs and stuff, and then I got to watch the rest of the show. So here I am thinking, I'm going to miss the pre-show. Half the show is going to be over. And after I finished working, I missed the pre-show, and there was still another 5 hours of WrestleMania for me to enjoy getting to watch for free, which was pretty awesome. So Sweet. 2 WrestleManias now I've seen. First one courtesy of name drop coming, Mr. John Laurinaitis. And this one would be courtesy of whatever company it was that I worked for a day. It was pretty awesome.
Wait a minute. I don't know if it was John Laurinaitis who got you into 24. I thought didn't I buy a few tickets and didn't you pay me back for one of them? Because
he did give me 2 tickets to that and the Hall of Fame, and I didn't end up using either of them because I got tickets off of you. So it's kind of a weird thing to admit, but
gotcha.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember if you ever paid me back for that, but that's irrelevant.
That's possible.
Probably.
Who knows? Kayfabe.
Yeah, we do have a late addition to the podcast here, kind of in progress. You're doing a run-in, if you will. The first lady of the Phoenix Report wrestling panel, former Impact Wrestling backstage producer, Miss Jennifer Kerstner.
Thank you. It is a pleasure to be here after just riding a ride at Universal with Rich Swann.
That's true. As we record this, you were at Universal and ran into Rich Swann somehow.
Name dropping.
Yeah, that was not expected. We were just kind of in line, and my friend looks over, and she's like, "Is that Rich Swann?" I'm like, "I'm pretty sure," but we kind of debated about it for a little bit, but then it was definitely him because shenanigans. And, his wife is actually really pretty.
Didn't he just get married to Picasso?
Yep.
Yeah, interesting story. Jack, my wife owns a bikini car wash company, correct?
Yes. I've seen some of the advertisements. I mean, a friend of mine has told me about them.
Picasso, for a very brief time, was one of her girls when she was thinking of not being a wrestler anymore. So my wife meets her for the first time up at Dunkin' Donuts with Rich Swann. So she's watching 205 with me the other night, and she's like, "Hey, I know that guy from somewhere." And I'm like, I was like, "Yeah, his wife worked for it." And she's like, "Oh, he's on TV now. Awesome." So anyway,
interesting.
Name dropping.
I'm not familiar with Picasso. She's a wrestler too. Is she just like from the indie circuit, or what's her deal?
What name is she going by right now? I still call her Picasso.
I don't
Goodness,
know.
she even wrestled WrestleMania weekend out there. Goodness, here's the thing. She'll kick your ass, and she's very violent. So, but really sweet girl. Really sweet girl.
Sounds about right.
I'll look her up in a second and see what the hell her name is nowadays.
Interesting. Well, while you're looking that up, Jen, we were going around and just saying, just kind of telling firsthand our accounts of a WrestleMania weekend. Obviously, Cory and Jeremy were not there, but Brian was. He was. Yeah.
That's what it sounded.
Not really a contest. I'm just saying.
By the way, her name is Sue Young.
Sue Young. Okay.
Yeah.
The current Mrs. Swan. Very good to know.
Yes.
But yeah, Brian was there selling merchandise, and he managed to get a job there. Sorry, Brian. Who was your contact again there? Getting the merchandise thing. I forget how that happened.
Nobody through WWE, just a random company that does like Super Bowls and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It was like, you want to volunteer for WrestleMania, meaning like you don't get paid? But it was like, well, I still get to see WrestleMania, so my book, that's payment.
Yeah. It looked like it was almost like an independent, like they contracted merchandise.
Yeah,
vendors out.
I don't work for them. It was just
That
a
makes
one-day thing. It's just another crazy instance where I get to witness a WrestleMania or a wrestling event.
That makes sense, because otherwise they would have to have people like traveling around with them selling their merchandise, and that's sort of an unnecessary expense on their part. So
no, and from what they made it sound like the Super Bowls were a much bigger deal than WrestleMania was like nothing for them. So whatever.
Interesting. Well, Jen, you certainly had quite the weekend in Orlando. We were mentioning how it was a bit of a money issue for us, but for you, you were really going for it. You were really going to a lot of different events.
Well,
let's try and recap what your weekend was.
We were in Orlando. It's easy now to hit all these things I've always wanted to do because I'm local. Then try to go to, say, New Orleans next year and try to hit all these same things, not know where I'm going, have no idea what the lay of the land is. So I figured, you know what, we're here, let's go for it.
Yeah, so
I went for it.
So let's take us from the beginning though. Like who were you there with? Like where did you go? Let's just kind of go over your weekend experience.
Who were you wearing?
Who was I wearing? I was wearing various wrestling shirts. I was with my friend Janelle, who I'm actually with right now. And we went to, what did we do? Thursday night, we went to the WrestleCon Super Show, which was fun. Joey Ryan is always fun. Tommy Dreamer threw beer on me. Highlight of my life right there.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. WrestleCon, for those of you listening who don't know, it's kind of like Comic-Con, where it's just you get a million former wrestlers and former personalities in the business. They all converge together, and this is at every town that WrestleMania is in.
I also went to that on Saturday, so I did that and WrestleMania on Sunday.
Gotcha. Brian with the hot tag. Excellent.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm sorry, Jen, continue. You said you saw Tommy Dreamer and everybody at WrestleCon.
Yeah, that was a really good wrestling show. I wasn't really expecting it to necessarily be as good as it was.
Did they have matches during the signings and stuff?
I didn't pay to go to the signings. I paid to go to just the match. It was $60.
I did the opposite.
But I just wanted to go see the wrestling because I figured I was going to Access on Saturday. When did I go to Access? I actually went to Access. I ended up going. What was it? Saturday morning and Friday. I don't know. I went to so many things.
There was a lot of days of wrestling that for a 4-day weekend.
Not enough. You can never have enough though. Really,
that's so much wrestling in
Mania alone was 18 hours.
Before that week started too, there was an NXT on Saturday. So I went to NXT, and then I had Sunday through Wednesday off, and then Thursday I went to Super Show. Friday I hit Progress Wrestling, where Tyler Bate defended the UK Championship for the first time outside WWE. And that was a great roster of people. That's the most fun I've ever had at a wrestling show, I think. The Progress show.
Now, Progress, are they based in the UK or? Okay, because I've been hearing about them, especially the last month or so, because they were running shows for Mania weekend. I mean, pretty much every independent WrestleMania. I'm sorry, every independent wrestling company pretty much on the planet always runs shows wherever WrestleMania is, which makes sense. You get people from all over the world who travel in this sort of thing, and they are the diehard of the diehard wrestling fans. So it makes sense for them to capitalize on that.
And they sold it out too.
I believe it, and I think
didn't they do the Bullet Club against them or something that weekend?
Yes.
Oh
Who?
God.
All I know is I got feet done, and that made me really happy. So.
Gotcha, and that wasn't the end of it there, because
Rockstar Spud and Mandrews were at that show too.
Nice.
And then we got an hour break, and then Evolve. So that was one of Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre's last Evolve shows.
Right. Because I think originally he was scheduled to do another indie show, but then all of a sudden the NXT announcement happened, and yeah. So that was one of the big shocks.
Who's brushing their teeth?
Are you doing air quotes and brushing your teeth?
No, someone's using an electric toothbrush or something else.
Or something else, not me.
Somebody's butt plug is vibrating.
I'm just laughing about it.
Wow.
Sorry.
Cory, you've been awfully quiet over there. Is there anything you need to tell us?
No, I actually have been on mute this entire time unless I'm talking.
Oh, good.
That's
man.
a smart man.
Yes.
And I know, Jen, you and I met up at the Ring of Honor show on Saturday.
Yes. I went to Access that morning and then to Ring of Honor. That was so much fun. My God.
It was pretty cool, and I ended up joining you that night. I think you had an extra ticket, which thank you again, by the way, for the hookup with that. I don't really follow Ring of Honor. I'm not really generally a fan of Ring of Honor. Whatever, that's a whole thing. I don't even want to get into that.
Highly controversial.
But I mean, it was the first Ring of Honor live show I'd ever been to, and that was at the Lakeland Center, which Lakeland, for those of you who don't know, it's about halfway in between Tampa and Orlando. The Lakeland Center itself was sort of a really cool, mid-sized multi-purpose arena / convention center, and probably one of the biggest, and as I understood it, Jen, one of the biggest houses that Ring of Honor ever played to.
It is their biggest.
Yeah, which is really cool to see that. And I gotta say, I was really impressed with the show. I thought the production level was pretty good. Obviously, a lot of the matches were great. I mean, a ton of high spots, as you'd imagine, but like, this is like my first time seeing guys like Will Ospreay live, and he's phenomenal.
Ooh. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he's incredible. Saw a really good bull rope match between Cody Rhodes and Jay Lethal.
Jay's amazing.
Yeah, both of those guys I've been a fan of. I saw the Motor City Machine Guns there. I haven't seen them on TV or anything in a long time, so that's cool to see. I didn't realize that they were working for Ring of Honor, but it was cool to see those guys. And even Bully Ray showed up in Ring of Honor as well, which I guess I don't know what kind of deal he signed with them, but it was really cool to see him there.
I heard he has a 1-year deal.
Yep.
Gotcha. And I know the tag team he faced were like some of the people he trained at the Team 3D Academy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. I apologize. I forget everybody's name on the show, but I was really impressed, and especially with the main event, it was the Hardys versus the Young Bucks. I mean, what more can you say about that? That match was fantastic.
Oh, I feel like I was a part of history. I really do.
It was. I mean,
with that one.
It was a really cool, just kind of passing the torch to the Young Bucks. They really put them over and made them look really good. They kind of, even like the way they closed it out, it almost seemed like it was the end of the Broken gimmick. It was like sort of a nice sort of conclusion to that. And which leads us into Sunday. And before I talk about Sunday, I just want to share with you guys a little bit about what my weekend was like. Obviously, being in Orlando, living there full time, I was aware of everything that was going on. I wasn't necessarily able to catch everything, all the WrestleCon and all the independent events. But as I mentioned, I did get to go to Ring of Honor on Saturday with Jenn, which was really cool. On Friday, I had a gig. My band was playing at a club called The Haven in Winter Park, which is actually very close to Full Sail University. We were playing that club, and it was us and 3 other bands, and we were opening for Micro Championship Wrestling, which I don't know how big their company is, but I had heard about them mainly playing like the rock bar circuit all over the place, and it was a pretty good show. Like, for what it was, I thought they put on a really good show, and it's one of those things. I can say that my band has done a lot, and midget wrestling has been one of our gigs. So
they do a lot of festivals too, man. They're fun.
Do they still refer to themselves as midgets?
I think it's okay to say that.
If in a wrestling context, it is.
I think so. I mean,
when
Hornswoggle
I
said
was
it's okay.
at a show in St. Pete, and they did. They called themselves.
I'm all for it.
When they send you an email trying to be at one of your festivals, they call themselves midgets many times throughout the email.
Well, there you go. I mean,
the truth is out there, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen.
Honestly, that sounds better than little person. Little person sounds more demeaning to me.
Yeah, you're not a person. You're a little person.
Right? That sounds even more condescending.
He's got a puke.
I just kind of didn't mention any of it, so
Vince,
let them talk.
He just wanders in from time to time.
Okay. Well, I mean, he gets lost. He gets confused. So
he's always tapping these conversations.
That's understandable. I know Randy or Stu might show up at some point. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I thought I heard something in the wind, but yeah, no, I had a really great time at MCW seeing their show. Some of the guys there were listening to the band. They thought it was really cool. They kind of gave us props on the mic, during the show. Thanked us for opening for them. So
was there any notable midgets involved from?
No. I was kind of hoping that. You never know what would happen. And again, we were playing a show that was going opposite of the Hall of Fame ceremony as that was going on. So, we're sort of competing with that and every other wrestling show that was in town, but we still managed to have a fairly decent crowd. Unfortunately, my band went on kind of early, so it's like people were still coming in after we finished up, but it's all good. We still had a fun time. And yeah, it was a good show. We enjoyed it. I managed to get a few people from my job to come out. I guess Well, I mean, I was just laughing. It was funny. I was like, man, so this is what I have to do to get you guys to come out to see my band. I got to play for midget wrestling.
Yeah, you got to offer up some midgets, man. Come on.
Now, Jack,
That's
pardon
the
me.
big hook.
I forgot what your band's name is.
How dare you, sir?
I didn't forget. I'm trying to plug them. Come on.
Oh, my band Vertebreaker, which I plug at the end of every show.
That's awesome.
The beginning and end of every show.
You can plug it twice, man. 3 times.
I will, absolutely. And leading into to that, we did the Ring of Honor show I went to, and then on Sunday, my beautiful, lovely wife, she managed to get me a ticket to the Broken Tailgate Party in downtown Orlando, hosted by Matt and Jeff Hardy, and Revy Sky and Senor Benjamin were there.
Nice.
And that was a really cool experience for me. They managed to have they had a ring set up outside of the bar, which was called Saddle Up, which is, I guess it's a country bar in downtown Orlando off of Orange Street. And in the parking lot, they had, like I said, they had a ring set up. So they would have matches there throughout the day. I guess there was 2 different independent companies, and man, I felt bad for the guys and girls who had to get in the ring that day because it was so hot outside.
Brutal.
Like,
the ring wasn't covered at all, and they were taking some brutal dives to concrete, no padding.
Ooh, yeah. Even as early as 10 a.m., it was really getting up there as far as being hot. So I definitely want to give props to all the guys and girls who worked that event. And I was talking to them. I was like, that mat has to be so hot. The mat and the ropes. I mean, to take bumps on that without wearing a shirt. I mean, that's tough.
That takes things up a notch.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, I managed to get a meet and greet with Matt and Jeff, and Matt was definitely in broken mode throughout the whole thing, but I managed to talk to him and just like kind of talk to him sincerely. Didn't really, and he managed to kind of break character a little bit and just kind of talk to me like like a normal person for a bit, and they couldn't have been nicer. Honestly, Jeff was really cool. I'd given them some Vertebreaker CDs and some wristbands and stuff like that, and some extra little wristbands and stickers and stuff. I know little Maxwell was there, but he was he was kind of asleep at the time, so didn't want to wake up the king.
Did you get a photo up with them?
I did.
Nice.
I did, and I spread it all around my Twitter and Facebook, and got retweeted and liked by Rebby. So thank you, Rebby, for that.
Very nice. Yeah,
definitely got a lot of retweets and likes. Probably the most thing I ever had on my Twitter so far. So that was really, really cool to have that on there. And it's definitely crossing that off my bucket list as for guys I've always wanted to meet. Jeff was super nice in particular. He was just asking me about the band and telling me about how his band was getting started and all the stuff that came along with him and playing gigs with Peroxygen and stuff like that.
Thank you. Is that how you pronounce it?
I believe that. Yeah,
Peroxygen.
I was just going to ask if you asked him how to pronounce his band's name.
I have no idea.
I didn't ask him, but
I've always thought it was Peroxygen.
As I understand, that's how you pronounce it, as in oxygen. But it just has the weird spelling because whatever.
Because it's weird.
It's Jeff.
Because it's Jeff. But yeah, no, both of them were super nice, and they kind of laughed at the name of my band, Vertebreaker, which is obviously a nod to their buddy Shane Helms.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good band name too. So
thanks. I mean, no one else took it, so and Shane approved of it. So if you're listening, Shane, don't sue.
Jesus.
Hey, I'm trying to cover all my bets. If I have to hire David Otunga or something for legal counsel, I will.
God.
Clarence Mason, maybe.
Otunga's
wow.
busy. Otunga's busy filming a movie. You didn't know that?
I'm so sad that he had to take a little break from the table.
If they repeat to me one more time that he is out filming a movie, I might end my own life.
Filming a straight-to-Netflix movie.
It does make me feel better knowing that he's not on commentary, though.
Really, Jen, knowing that being reminded that he's making a movie, that's what'll do it for you after all the shit we've gone through.
A lot of things as of late, like if I can't stand online when wrestling fans are talking about Jinder Mahal now. They're like, "Don't hinder Jinder." Man, stop saying that, please. It's just there's certain phrases that are triggering me lately.
Jack says it a lot, so Jack, you got to keep that in check. With your
I can't.
Gender.
You know what? Slaters are going to slate, and I forgot what we were doing. But I
See,
mean,
because Zack Slater's goofy, though, Slater's gonna slate is funny, and I don't know, but for some reason, hinder gender, like, it just...
but Jen, why do you want to hinder gender?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, don't get me started on
what did
that.
he do to you?
Well, I don't know. I
He
don't
got the
even
big
know.
push.
And you know what? He probably... It's
Here it comes.
refreshing to see someone else in the title picture.
Yeah.
It really is. And
True
I
that.
like it, and that's great. But why did it have to be him?
A jabroni.
Yeah.
Hey, who are you to doubt El Dandy?
Why are they trying to move into India so they have to push gender? It's horrible.
Right. And he's got the Bollywood boys with him. It's obvious. The
Dude,
Indian world order has taken over.
If they try to do the Muhammad Hassan stick after he got
That's
dealt
what
that
they were
way,
doing.
I'm gonna lose my shit because
Seems to be where it's going.
I love that guy. That guy was freaking gold. It's not even fair.
Oh my god,
And
the
poor-
amount of heat that dude had.
And it had just started.
I mean, it's crazy listening to some of the recent interviews Sean Davari has done about that on Jim Ross's podcast. Is that he was saying, is like, man, this poor guy, like, you know, he didn't really have a lot of training in the business even. He was just kind of thrust right into it. But
He
like,
wasn't even Arab.
Nope.
Yeah, he's Italian.
Did anyone notice on 205 Live that now Davari's brother is doing the same gimmick?
Yep.
Where he's a millionaire?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on there? Vince is obsessed with the millionaire, the evil millionaire gimmick.
Yep.
And have you noticed that all the black guys have a goofy gimmick? Like, they're all kind of a joke. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, it's really just bad on that show. Like, and like, if you are not white, you're not white power on that show, you are like Noam
205
Dar,
Live?
Alicia Fox.
Oh,
Because
that's
he's
the best.
Scottish, he's a joke.
Well,
You know,
trying to
they
think.
also
I'm
some
trying
of
to
them. Well, not all the black guys have no gimmick. Some of them.
How
are,
dare
no,
you say
no,
R-Truth has a
Titus
Not all of them
O'Neil
have a
has
stupid gimmick. Some of them
Titus
have.
O'Neil
Titus
has
is-
a stupid gimmick.
Dances.
Titus is now a manager.
Some of
Titus
them.
now has Apollo Crews in his.
Some of them have no gimmick and no personality. I'm looking at you, Apollo Crews and Cedric Alexander. Just saying.
Yeah, like, I
Boring.
can't think of a strong, like, black wrestler that is similar to, I mean, The Rock doesn't count. I'm talking about on the current roster.
Shelton
about
Benjamin.
Current roster that is
The
an active
gold
wrestler.
standard? Oh.
Shelton Benjamin's injured though, so
Mark
until he-
Henry.
A high-level white performer. There isn't one. They all have some kind of goofy gimmick to them. Or none at all.
Darren Young.
Jared Young really does not.
I'm kidding. That guy's got employment for life though, because he's black and gay.
Yeah. That's true.
He got. He won the lotto, the real lotto, not the Jinder Mahal.
Didn't really
Ari-
work for
Ari-
Orlando Jordan, but okay.
Oh God, Orlando Jordan in TNA. Those days.
No, I mean when he was being JBL's manservant. But same thing.
With the Bashams. Yeah, this is great. This is a great nostalgic view of WrestleMania. The hell are we talking about?
No.
I don't know. We started talking about hindering gender, and then
Yeah, and then it all.
Oh,
went
that's
off.
right. That's right.
Now I see why. Maybe we should have hindered this conversation.
I think it's Jinder's fault, honestly.
God damn it, Jinder.
Blame the Indian,
This is why we hinder Jinder.
and I don't mean Native
it's
American.
not Seth Rollins' fault.
WWE should book the band Hender for gender.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
Go
Wow.
home, get stoned.
Someone needs to book Hinder,
Hinder.
Why
Why
not?
not?
For real.
Doesn't work.
other than Celebration Station.
They cost about
Wow.
$3,000. Let's do it.
I had to go there.
You would know, Jeremy.
I do know.
Yeah, you're the food truck impresario over here, booking.
Hey, let's be fair.
Getting
I-
offers from Flow Rider.
Speaking of,
Let's
speaking
be
of
fair.
food trucks, I got to hit up
I
ODB's
don't
food
just
truck.
do food trucks. Oh, I talked to her this weekend about her food truck.
Her food truck is amazingly good, dude. Like, she had these pork nachos. That was, like, ridiculous how good they were. I didn't get to meet her, but I got to.
I'm
Shelton Benjamin
actually
told me
gonna-
the food truck.
I'm going to have her in town at one of the events soon. She's a little farther up north than where I'm at, but I'm going to have her at one of my events soon. We just talked about that, actually.
Nice. I highly recommend checking out. What
Her
was it
barbecue
called?
sauce is awesome. Oh, goodness. It's ODB's...
Meals on Wheels?
ODB's something on wheels or something like that.
I don't know.
But she's advertising all over her Jessie page right now, so you should check it out. It's awesome.
It was good shit. And Shelton Benjamin actually pointed me in the right direction of where to go when I was looking for it. So, good man.
It's the gold standard. I mean, you know.
That's why I have new respect for him now.
He's a good brother. Well, anyways, so
Mania.
Yeah. Perfect segue, huh?
Edit button.
Oh, boy.
Anyway, yeah, what else happened? I got a picture with Shelly Martinez.
Yeah, you did.
Her twins.
Oh, yes.
The next Mrs. Connolly.
And Jake the Snake Roberts, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and Slick. That was my contribution from WrestleCon. Out of 1,000 wrestlers, I picked out. The Iron Sheik didn't show up. Ric Flair was charging $60. I had my standards as far as who I was willing to pay. And
do you have to pay like something for each autograph sign?
well,
or?
And here's the thing: Deborah remembered me from years ago and didn't charge me for a picture.
Wait,
you
got to recap the Deborah story. How does Deborah know you?
Deborah I spotted in the audience a long time ago when I was working for Blue Man Group. We were in Austin, Texas. It was like, that chick looked Deborah, I'm going to go talk to her. And it turned out it was her. She hung out with us after the show. She was really drunk and telling me things she shouldn't be telling me about Stone Cold Steve Austin and showing me Vince McMahon's phone number and things like that. I was like, wow, this is like a ridiculous night. Little did I know my life would get even more and more ridiculous, because that was 2003.
Wow.
Somehow I pulled out a picture and I was like, hey, any chance you remember this? She was like, oh my God, I totally do. And she wanted to see Blue Man Group while she was in town, but we couldn't make it happen because she was only in town for like another day.
Right.
But, I mean, I now have her number. Hey-o.
Wow.
Nice.
Maybe we can get her on the podcast someday.
Wait a minute. Cory, I think you might know something. Isn't Steve Austin there with you now?
What?
Some bitch.
I mean, I don't want to make this awkward, Mr. Austin. I mean, I'm glad you're here to join us. Are you okay with Brian having your former wife's number?
Well, hell, son. If he wants to go and get her damn phone number, he can go and get it. But you better just watch out, because you might get a text that says 316.
Uh-oh.
And that means that's your ass.
That means DTA. Yes.
I gotta
hell
say, Steve.
yeah.
I gotta say, Steve, that's very it's very generous of you. Very big of you to say that.
What?
Stone Cold E.T.
What?
What do you think of Stone Cold E.T., Austin?
I think he's a little measly mouse son of a bitch.
Oh,
and I'm going to drop him on that stack of dimes
Piece
that he
of
calls
trash.
a neck.
Wow.
That was a perfect response.
I mean, that's amazing. I just hope I can follow in your footsteps, sir. Obviously, you're a world famous podcaster as well. I'm just trying to do my best here, trying to keep all these marks together and keep this ship going. So I appreciate you stopping by.
Marking out the fake Austin.
Global icon and a national treasure, son.
That's right.
We'll
Yes,
catch
you
you
are.
on down the road.
All right, thank you, Steve. All right, well, that was great. Anyways, we got all kinds of cameos here today. I love it.
That guy sounded an awful lot like the ringmaster.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
We shall never speak his name again.
More importantly,
It was
This
stunning,
is-
whatever it was.
Absolutely. This is a stunning turn of events.
what does Mongo McMichael think of me talking about Deborah?
I don't know, but you know what was a stunning turn of events? WrestleMania 33.
Hey.
How's that for a segue?
The pre-show has arrived.
It sure has. Yeah, that was it was a long one. What time did you guys Jen, what time did you end up getting to Camping World Stadium? Or do you remember offhand? Or
We
That's a
got
long day.
there at 3:30
okay, so yeah, you guys.
because
got
I had
there
no
pretty
clue.
early.
I knew the pre-show was going to start around 5:30, but I wasn't sure exactly, and I didn't want to take the chance of missing it. Why, I don't know. I could have done without it, to be quite honest. But I figured we might as well get there early, so we did.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I did a similar thing, and I think you probably did the same thing as well, where it's like you parked. I know I parked in downtown Orlando and there were several buses running from the Amway Center to the Citrus Bowl.
That's what I did.
And yeah, so that's what I did as well, and it kind of worked out because the parking situation down at the stadium is terrible.
Beautiful downtown Orlando.
Yeah. the city beautiful, as they call it. But yeah, no, that's how I ended up getting down there. I managed to. I wasn't there quite for the entrance for the first match. It was Neville versus Austin Aries on the pre-show. When I got there, at first it was like really, really hot, and eventually it cooled off a little bit because we, got a little bit of cloud cover, but it was just, I mean, seeing just the production value alone, just the stage setup was just incredible.
It was pretty
really.
It was pretty awe-inspiring seeing it once you walk in. You're like, something about this one versus 2008. It's the same arena, but the setup was just so much more ridiculous.
It was
that
just bigger.
stage.
And the one in 2008 was pretty cool too, but like this one was just like
this one they didn't have the palm trees and the whole Florida vibe this time. They just went like the roller coaster theme park thing. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, it had a pretty solid opener with Neville versus Austin Aries. I really thought Aries was going to go over, but it looks like they're delaying that at least until.
Yeah.
I know Payback is this weekend, so that's going to
he can't just debut at WrestleMania and win the cruiserweight title on the pre-show. Apparently,
I guess.
Gotta work your way up.
I guess. Then followed by the Andre Battle Royal, which we had our first celebrity sighting. Of course, Rob Gronkowski from the New England Patriots. He was there helping out Mojo. Mojo Rawley ended up winning, which I don't think anyone saw that coming.
No.
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 I definitely didn't. I would have loved to have seen Braun Strowman just dominate everybody and win.
But now when you go back and watch, you see that Mojo was the first name announced. So it's like usually one of the first guys they announce wins it.
I made a lot of money off that match. A lot of money.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, obviously the connection with Gronkowski being there, it definitely made sense.
Didn't make any money, man. Who would have picked Mojo to win that match? Come on, brother. Come on.
I don't know. You never know.
Wait. I thought you were talking about in terms of like getting like the Sports Center moment or whatever, because having Gronk there and getting all the publicity about that.
No, you can actually gamble off wrestling on many sites and make a lot of money.
Nowhere near as cool as last year with Shaquille O'Neal and Tatanka making appearances. Yeah, there's a story now coming out about how Shaq said WWE dropped the ball with the negotiations on they were supposed to have a match this year, and they kept going back and forth, and eventually Shaq just said, "Fuck it, I'm out." So that was supposed to happen.
I didn't get the full story on that.
No, nobody cares.
Offer him any money? Did they not give him enough money?
It wasn't a money issue. It was just they kept changing creative direction, like they tend to do, with what they wanted Big Show to do, and. So
didn't he say at first it was a singles match and then it was like a 6-person tag? Or
yeah, they wanted to add guys to it, which was stupid. Like, who are you going to add to it?
But that kind of makes sense, though. I mean, could you really see Shaq carrying an entire match? Even with Big Show.
Let him try.
I think that's kind of the attraction.
It's Orlando, too. It would be a good audience for that. We had to sit through Floyd Mayweather and Big Show. Why not Shaq and Big Show? Same arena. Maybe that was they didn't want to do the same thing in the same arena.
I guess.
I still have my fake paper Floyd Mayweather money from that WrestleMania.
Oh my God.
That's awesome.
I was not lucky enough to grab one of those, unfortunately.
Very cool. Well, if you're mad about Mojo winning, Jen, you know who you can blame for that. It's Jinder.
Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal?
Jinder.
How would that be Seth Rollins' fault?
Definitely.
Everything's Seth Rollins' fault.
His penis.
Bret Hart says everything.
What about it?
So I disagree.
I don't know.
You just.
I think I have Tourette's syndrome.
I think you do.
And don't even get me started on Seth Rollins lately.
It's Seth Rollins' penis.
That'll be an hour of me cutting a promo on him.
Is he on your list now? Do you have a list?
Oh, he's definitely on the list.
The list of Jen.
I don't even want to know why. But,
yes, I was one of the first people to buy one of those lists of Jericho, by the way, and my creation of Kevin poster. It's proudly displayed.
Jack and I were placed on the list on the same night, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Oh yeah, me too. I was there.
You too?
Yes, I was also on the list that night.
We're all on the list. That's awesome.
Yep.
That's right. He put the entire city of Tampa, Florida, on the list.
Yeah,
He
that
did.
Raw.
You did.
That's true. Yeah, no, I was on that episode with you. I was honored.
Right after
That's-
Hogan got kicked out of the side that he was of camera side. Remember that?
Yes. Remember
Yeah.
Hogan.
And then got sat right down next to Jesse.
Dark match Hogan got kicked out.
Yeah, no, that's true. For those of you listening, we were at the first Raw of the year in Tampa. There was a guy dressed like Hulk Hogan, and he started to generate a huge Hogan chant. Which
That was tie-dye guy.
Dude,
If you watch wrestling enough, you see him
Oh yeah.
in the audience.
Is he local to Tampa, or is he just
Bro,
like
he's
one of those dudes? who travels?
everywhere.
I think he's a Florida. He's probably based out of Florida because I've seen him back in old original ECW days.
Yep.
At those events in Tampa and stuff. So he must be based in Florida, but he gets around. He's another one of those guys like travels by himself, no wife or kids.
Wow.
Don't know what the hell he does.
Dude, he was getting a bigger pop as the list was.
Totally.
Yeah, there was a giant Hogan chant, and they like made him. I don't think they kicked him out, but they at least,
No, they
like,
made him. They took him off TV side and moved him on the side that Jesse was sitting on.
Yeah,
Camera side.
yeah. I guess he was just distracting the entire show, so I don't know what that says about the show.
No,
but
he was just covered in Hogan merchandise, and on
He
top
looked
of that, was
exactly
getting
like
pop.
Hogan.
He really
that's-
did.
Vince might have thought that was Hogan. He's like, I thought I told you to stay away, Balea.
They're not ready to bring him back. It's on Vince's terms that they decide. I actually thought Hootie would come back in Orlando if he was going to come back.
I was hoping he would, but it didn't happen. So
And I'm fine with it. It's okay.
yeah. He'll be back.
No, he won't.
Yes, he will.
Not if I have anything to do with it.
Well, thankfully you don't have anything to do with it, so he will be back. So, anyways, moving on. Intercontinental Championship.
That's
Dean
what she
Ambrose and say what?
Nothing. Nothing at all. Carry on.
Fuck
Proceed.
yourself.
Were you guys surprised that got moved to the pre-show?
Which one?
The first time it got
Intercontinental
moved,
title.
or the second time it got moved?
Only because the SmackDown women's match was supposed to be on the pre-show and people bitched, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Although that match kind of stunk in the position that it was in.
But should we have even called it a pre-show? Should we have just said, okay, this whole thing is WrestleMania?
It is. It says WrestleMania on the apron. Like when you go back in history and look at the pictures, it's going to say WrestleMania.
If you were watching from home, like the pre-show actually started like an hour and a half to almost maybe 2 hours before the matches even started. So now
And it was free. It was free for
Yeah.
everyone to watch.
if you were watching it at home,
when
it
you
was more
own-
like part of the show.
Yeah, it's like when you own the network. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know.
I was watching the whole thing since Wednesday, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of network
There's a
being used.
lot of network.
I mean, maybe like you said, for free. I know they simulcast it on YouTube for free, so maybe
And
there's like some.
I think Facebook and Instagram and all. Somehow they're Twitter.
So there are probably like advertising deals in place. That's probably why they have to call it the pre-show.
One place it was not broadcast was on Tout.
Is anything broadcast on tap?
No, nobody ever signed up for Tout. No one remembers it.
That's how it is.
Tout is one of those things where like MySpace points at it. Like at least we're not those guys.
Well, and WWE was behind it.
Yeah.
Using their 10-second touts, like little Vine videos. They failed miserably, and I laugh.
Yeah, once Facebook started introducing like the live videos, that kind of destroyed that. But
Fuck.
But yeah.
MySpace, that thing that Ryback invented.
I mean, what didn't Ryback invent? You know.
Everything. That's what I'm asking.
Feed me.
Seymour? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly.
He invented
Did you drop a
Seymour,
Little Shop
actually.
of Horrors
We
reference
did.
in there?
Well, because he
On YouTube?
invented
He
that
said
and then
feed
stole
me
it
Seymour.
later.
Yeah, that's totally Little Shop of Horrors.
Wow.
It was.
Oh, good.
I'm
God.
old.
Why are we talking about Little Shop of Horrors when we're talking about Dean Ambrose and Baron Corbin? I don't know how that.
That's how,
Because
that's
of
how,
gender and
that's how
Ryback.
important that match was overall. That match was.
Are you blaming this? Are we blaming this on Jinder or Seth? Which one
Gender
are we doing?
and Ryback and stuff.
We're blaming this on Jinder Mahal's penis.
Blame it. Yes.
Which is ripped, by the way.
Oh my god. Jen would know.
Proper diet.
I would not know anything about Jinder Mahal.
Oh, you've got pictures. I'm sure you've got a link to some pictures to be said.
Definitely don't. Don't want them either.
That would not hinder
I
you.
do, however,
Uh-oh.
have pictures of Tyler Bate.
I have to step out of this part.
My friend Tatiana sent them to me. I was like, what is this?
Put Jeremy
It was a little
on
disturbing.
hold.
Is he even legal yet? Like
Excellent match tonight, by the way.
Yes.
Tyler Bate is 19 years old. He looks like he's 45.
He was looking a little scruffy tonight, man. So they're trying to put a little age on him.
Jack Gallagher. How old is he?
102 in British years.
British years. Lord Alfred years. He's 69.
Yeah, apparently they each own their own mustachery, and that's how that happened.
Mustache Mountain.
I gotta ask this, Jen. Did Tyler Bates' dick have a mustache?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What about Joey Ryan?
It's British style, brother. Damn.
I mean, suckers got to know, right?
This podcast does not pull any punches.
I guess not.
Or penises. Kind of wish it would.
Do you really?
And the next match is...
I'm not even sure who
something about
I'm
WrestleMania.
not even sure who that's offensive to, but it's offensive to somebody.
Thus concludes the pre-show portion.
Yes, we're off to a great start, by the way. We're an hour into this thing, and we're barely even into the show. But
are we really? Oh my god.
Yeah, afraid so.
I'd like to point out that Graves did an excellent job on the pre-show, by the way, because
He's
Graves
fantastic,
is a cool guy.
isn't
So
he? Like he's just
Heels do it better.
he is a goddamn national treasure.
He
Cory
is.
Graves.
Yes.
Jeez. Goddamn. It's well spoken, Ron Burgundy.
He's fantastic. Okay.
Smells of scotch and rich mahogany.
Yes.
That's the first time I've been called that, but I appreciate it.
Why not?
All right. Appreciate it, champ. Anyway, AJ Styles versus Shane McMahon. A lot of people were pissed that AJ Styles was not in the main event or not facing, someone who isn't a McMahon. But
And who wasn't in the first match of the card, but
Yeah.
I gotta say though, I liked that match a lot. I thought it was a good opener.
bad placement of where the match should go, though.
But on the same token, though, if you go back in history and you look at all of the WrestleMania openers, I mean, you've got the best. You've got Brett versus Owen at WrestleMania 10.
True that.
And then you've got Daniel Bryan versus, who was it, Triple H at 30?
Yep.
Both of those were pretty good matches. I thought this was among those in terms of, hey, this was pretty damn good.
So you wouldn't put this in the same category as Shawn Michaels and El Matador or Tatanka?
I don't think it's on the quite on the level of Rick Martel versus Coco Beware.
Nice. Good opening match.
The epicness.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
You guys
opening
did your
matches.
research, I'll give you that.
Opening matches have historically not been, aside from the ones you mentioned, the hot openers at WrestleMania, because there's so many goddamn guys to get on the card. But no, you made a good point there. I'm sure there's others. There was that one year they did Edge and Alberto Del Rio for the world title first.
Yeah,
They try to mix things up.
Indeed.
Yeah, definitely.
Indeed.
As far as the AJ and Shane match, I thought it was great. I mean,
I like
obviously, I mean, I don't think there's anyone who thought that for a second that Shane was going to win.
No.
But, yeah, no, AJ was over huge. I mean, they've pretty much turned him babyface by now, which is good, because that's what the fans want.
They need it on SmackDown. They need him to be. Him and Nakamura.
The fans do not want to boo him. They just don't. So, Shane looked really good, I thought. He pulled off a shooting star press in there. That was really cool. Did the coast to coast, all the spots you'd expect. Not a lot in the way of like diving off crazy things. I mean, yeah, he had the elbow at one point, but honestly, after last year when he jumped off the freaking Hell in a Cell, like, how do you top that?
Well, we all knew that was going to happen
with a Titantron.
Yeah, but it's like, I mean, we don't need to see that anymore.
No.
As awesome as that was, it's like, you're a man in your mid-40s, you shouldn't be doing that.
Just because your kids are in the front row watching doesn't mean you have to.
I'm glad
I was halfway hoping that he was going to enter on the roller coaster and do something crazy.
I don't think he'll ever top the Angle match, so I don't think there's a point in trying. I mean, he has good matches. Why try to top what he's done already, man? I mean,
it's kind of exciting. I realized recently that Kurt Angle is back on Raw as the general manager, and Shane McMahon is on SmackDown. So there could be a rematch somewhere down the line if either of their bodies hold up long enough.
As a fan of both of them, I mean, I don't want to see that.
That's what WWE likes to do, though.
Because
Goldberg and Lesnar.
They'll kill each other, though. They're not Goldberg and Lesnar. They'll freaking kill each other trying to put on a good match, and everybody.
I believe it. I mean, Kurt Angle his neck is held together by like a rubber band and toothpicks at this point.
And then you have Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle too, because Daniel Bryan works alongside Shane, and that's a dream match that we'll probably never see in a WWE ring. But who knows? Who the hell knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I even forgot to go through the Hall of Fame class this year, and not to get too sidetracked, but it was a pretty good class. I thought you had Rick Rude.
Just happy Rick Rude's in there. Yep.
Beth Phoenix, Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah.
Teddy Long.
Ugh.
DDP and Kurt Angle.
DDP belongs in there, and so does Kurt. But
Definitely.
But
wasn't a very memorable show. If you watch the Hall of Fame, it was kind of just like, they need to do something about. I mean, so do we. About going over in time. Sometimes.
I mean, do they though? Because last year you had like Michael Hayes, glad handing for like a fucking hour.
No matter what they do, it's always going to be over a 4-hour show, especially with the Warrior Award that they got to dish out now.
Right. Yeah. So, but anyways, getting back to Mania, AJ and Shane was really good. Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Owens ended up going over and won the title, which I was fine with that. It was a really good match for both of those guys. I thought they, it was a great like natural like blow off to that feud.
Yeah, definitely. I thought it was a good culmination of all of that time that was put into that whole storyline. And really, that's been one of the better examples of WWE actually booking something long term and letting it play out and keep going.
Yeah, they had a hell of a run together.
Long run. I mean, that was a lot of screen time for that pair on Raw.
Yeah, and that whole thing, I mean, it was fantastic how that all came together. You weren't sure how it was going to end, like who was going to turn on who, but like, yeah, it's incredible. And I mean, even the AJ and Shane thing, which was sort of a shorter term build, but they certainly did a lot to build up to that, I thought.
Didn't even bother me that it was for the U.S. title instead of the Universal title. Like, it's fine. Yeah,
it was such more of a personal thing where it's like it didn't really matter. Then we had the
Universal title. We haven't seen it since WrestleMania. It died.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Rest in peace.
We're and speaking of titles, we have the Raw Women's title, the Fatal 4-Way thing. Now, curious thing, Brian, you were there with me, and Jen, I'm sure you could attest to this as well. Because the fact that anytime you have an outdoor show, you're going to have the lights come on even more when it goes dark, when the sun sets. And that pissed so many people off because they have this effect where they shine a light out into the crowd, and you can probably see it every time you watch Raw or something where the crowd is lit up.
Was it a purple light, I want to say?
Yeah, it was like a purple and orange light, like several different things just to kind of give
blinding the fuck out of the entire side we were on.
Some ambiance, but I think because it was an outdoor thing and because it got dark and it was so bright, I think they forgot to realize that people's eyes have to adjust to it after a while.
And it's all you can focus on. It's like seeing a bright purple distraction over the ring. Like, people started chanting. Fuck
they
the
did,
light.
and honestly, I mean, for me, it was distracting at first, obviously, but I mean, eventually it wore off. And it didn't.
Well, because you and I know how to just accept things and
Dude,
move on.
People were losing their minds around us.
Yeah,
like,
really?
We were surrounded by so many people who were just so pissed off, like insane. Like
nothing.
There were chants of like turn the lights off and just all this other stuff, and I'm like, wow. And I'm just thinking like, so you guys are gonna like keep focusing on this as opposed to like the show that's going on.
Moments like that where you're not so proud to be a wrestling fan, much like being in a wing house in Pinellas County or Pasco
It's like
County.
you thought people were going to revolt at what was at worst a minor inconvenience.
Pretty much, that's all it was. Very minor. But these people paid a lot of money for their tickets, so they expect no distractions.
I guess. I mean, it's
Whatever. Fuck
whatever.
'em.
But
Fuck them all.
yeah. I mean, the match itself, I didn't.
Nia Jax got piled on early.
Yeah. So they did the elimination thing. Bayley had a really cool entrance, especially they really busted out the pyro for her early on, which was really cool to see. I mean, the entrances and the pyro work they did there was incredible.
Everybody had pyro, and because everybody had a mile-long walk to the ring. Or how many? Does anybody know how long that ramp was? It was like
That ramp was so long.
it was like
84 yards.
it's crazy.
I'm sorry, 184 yards.
And it was
something
high.
like
It was
that.
up. It was built high too. So like if they fell off that ramp, that would have been some serious shit.
I was very happy that Undertaker started halfway down.
Yes.
If Braun Strowman had pushed Kalisto off in a dumpster off that ramp, it would have fucked him up.
Hey, that 3 feet was a killer, man.
Yeah, good lord.
It was crazy seeing all like the motorcycles there during Triple H's entrance. I'm like,
That was awesome.
make one wrong turn though.
You know you weren't staring at the motorcycle.
Oh, we'll get into that a little bit. Stephanie
Yeah,
was
getting ahead of ourselves there.
she was looking good. Not for nothing.
Not for everything.
You should have been wrestling.
But Bayley ended up winning that match.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next we had
Jen doesn't. I know that.
I
Oh, yeah,
really
Jen.
don't care.
God, Jen hates Bayley.
I agree.
Are you
listen,
really gonna poke her with a stick over that?
It's a
No, I'm-
combination of factors with her. It's not any one thing. It's just this whole like I'm a little girl with my side ponytail and love me, hug me, whatever has just gone on a little too long, in my opinion.
It's like, bitch,
You
you're
can
20,
say,
you're
like,
26.
You can say I'm a lifelong wrestling fan. I used to dress up as this person in a promo. Great. Kevin Owens did it about Jericho, or Jericho said it about Kevin Owens. We saw the picture. You can make those points without like being over the top and just crazy about it.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I
lame
don't
shit,
know.
man.
And you know what? And it's not even her either. That little girl Izzy, I can't. Oh man, she's everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, this girl is around, handing me a hugger section sign every time. I saw her NXT Largo. Hi, and she's got her picture with 7,000 wrestlers, and her parents are spending exorbitant amounts of money. And I'm wondering, does this kid ever go to school?
This is worth mentioning.
I don't know. It's just, I can't.
Well, we need to investigate the situation further. What's her name?
I'm pretty sure you just cut a promo on a 10-year-old child.
I love it.
It's stiff. I like it.
Bravo.
Kane
Wow.
Dewey.
Yes. Kane Dewey and Izzy.
Kane Dewey 2017.
Jesus Christ.
And also vote Kane for Knox County,
Yeah.
Tennessee mayor
Yes.
in the upcoming election.
Different spelling of Kane.
I unfortunately am one county over from him, so I am not eligible to vote. But were I would seriously consider voting for him.
Are his commercials on your television like every day?
Birthday
Not-
today, by the way.
Happy birthday to Kane.
Yeah.
Birthday.
50.
Big Daddy.
Birthday.
Big Daddy
Big
Kane.
5-0.
I haven't noticed his commercials yet, but I'm sure they're going to come on.
That would be something to see.
Fucking A.
Wow.
His opponent has to use Katie Vick against him.
Oh, and by the way,
I
while
wish
we're
Rhino
talking,
would move to his district and they could run against each other. It'd be
yeah,
epic.
there you go.
The Gore.
Epic.
Something to mention
that'd
statistically
be a hell of a debate.
is
Not Al Gore.
this WrestleMania is the first WrestleMania that Kane missed in I think 19 years straight.
Yeah, he had a record going.
That's incredible.
Wow.
For Rumble appearances, too. First Rumble he wasn't in was this year.
Pretty wild.
It must be the politics.
Yeah, well, I guess he's a busy guy these days.
Well, that and he just turned 50 years old.
Yeah. Probably doesn't want to throw himself on the ground anymore for a living. But
For a living.
Well, there's always back to basketball.
yeah. Anyway, fatal 4-way tag team match for the Raw. Tag Team Championship.
Anything of note happened in this match, Jack?
No, nothing happened at all.
I'm
There were-
sitting next to Jack when this happened. I was there. Oh my god.
I think I heard the pop in Tampa.
Yeah, no, I basically turned into a 9-year-old girl at a One Direction concert.
Jack turned into Izzy for a moment there, for a little bit.
Exactly.
I had to cane him.
I had Jenn cutting random adult hate promos on me.
Janelle and I were holding on to one another and jumping up and down and squealing. So.
I think the whole arena was.
I was trying not to mark out in front of my wife.
We did a collective hug and jump.
Well, I was talking shit moments before because everyone around us was like, well, I mean, you haven't gotten to it yet, but the New Day came out and made it seem like they were going to insert themselves into the match because they were the hosts of the evening. Because I was like, why the fuck are they even hosting? What are they doing?
Up until that point, I didn't think they were going to do it. I was thinking like,
right.
No.
We were all just like, oh, shut up, you marks. Like, you're getting swerved. You're getting, this is exactly what they want you to think. And then that music hit.
The music came on, and I was like, no fucking way.
They're not. No, they're not. I thought we were being trolled.
And then for a brief second, I was like, man, this music is so much better than their fucking broken music. It's amazing.
Yeah, I never thought I'd hear that theme. Honestly, I never thought they'd come out to that song together.
Well, of course it's different than the broken music.
No, I said better. I didn't say different.
Yeah.
He said better.
Anytime I don't have to hear Jeff singing on his way to the ring, glorious.
Peroxa Y, Jeff.
God, just give him an in-ear piece,
I thought you were talking
please.
about just the solo classical piano.
No, that's an awesome part. That's awesome.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Even though a certain glorious bastard kind of ripped at one of the pay-per-views earlier this year.
Oh, yeah.
Which was awesome and glorious.
I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually convinced Enzo and Cass were going to win pre-Hardy's appearing. I was
honestly, I mean,
guys.
that's the only downside I have of it because honestly, I was thinking that like this should have been Enzo and Cass's moment.
Yeah.
But at the same time, who gives?
At the same time, though, I can't complain because the freaking Hardy Boys came.
Yeah,
nobody in that ring could have complained, But
that's another WWE nostalgia trip that can be argued whether or not it buries the new guys from making any progress. But they always say if there's a team that can draw better than the Hardys, they would be there. Mm-hmm. That's why they have to get the Hardys.
I mean, honestly, though, I don't think this hurts any of the tag teams because I think...
I mean, they came in, returned, and won the belts in the same night they returned.
Yeah, but like Matt and Jeff are smarter than that. They're gonna drop it to somebody and put people over. Like that's what they're gonna do. They're old school guys like that.
Are they gonna have singles runs eventually?
Yeah, eventually.
I mean, I'm sure.
Of course.
I mean, whether or not the broken thing happens anytime soon, I don't know where it stands right now with the lawsuit and all that. I'm sure. Please. I mean, there's no way they're not gonna do something like that.
You think they're
really at it, man?
Yeah, they're really threatened by a TNA lawsuit? I don't think so.
Well, me being the investigative journalist I am.
Oh. Nice. Ooh,
and, I really get into it with, looking up the stuff on the internet. I can't find a record of a lawsuit being filed in North Carolina or in Tennessee or in Florida. And I can't imagine what state they would file it in other than one of those.
Right.
So if there is I don't think there is a legitimate lawsuit. I think it's heat between the two of them and them trying to work something out legally.
Yeah. I mean, the only other person that I think could have a potential case in that sort of thing legally would be Jeremy Borash because he was behind so much of developing those stuff. But I mean, it mainly came from Matt.
Yeah, he was directing it. He wasn't creating it.
Yeah,
was
he was creatively putting it together with an editor. And
right.
Yeah, and he had the
controlling
the drone
Vanguard
cameras.
One.
Right, but I mean, I doubt, even if there was a lawsuit, I doubt that was JB's call. And Jen, you don't have to answer this because I know, you know people there, and I know you're trying to get your job back over there, so I don't want to put that in jeopardy at all.
I honestly don't think JB cares one way or the other if they do the broken thing or not.
No, probably not.
I think
he's making really good money, I think, to the point where he, if they do it, they do it. If they don't, they don't. I know he helped film the Young Bucks film a bunch of stuff with a drone lately.
God, I mean, JB's awesome. I wish he was working for WWE because he's so good at what he does.
I don't think you're going to see the Broken Hardys because it's not a Vince McMahon creation, and that's what it's all about.
I think Vince thinks it's goofy and doesn't want it on it.
Yeah, just yelling delete all the time. It's like he doesn't care. He doesn't think it's...
No, maybe not. But I mean, if they do bring it back to WWE, they're going to have to reintroduce it into WWE continuity.
Yeah,
It's
they'll,
kinda like,
they'll do it in a hokey way, much like they got Booker T or Triple H got Goldust stuttering that time. They'll come up with some stupid shit. Well, they'll electrocute them.
Correct.
right, but obviously they would have to like reintroduce it for people who aren't familiar with
They're
that.
probably
Like,
going to end up dropping the belts and then introducing it after they drop the belts just so they can win the belts back again.
Like, I'm just waiting for someone to subtly say, "Hey, is it me or is it Matt a little bit different than from last time he used to work?"
Well,
here?"
he needs to get dropped on his head in a ladder spot or something somewhere.
Oh, jeez.
Which Mania would have been a good way to do that because it was a ladder match. That was your first hint that the
Awesome
Hardys might
ladder
appear because there's a ladder match stipulation was added like less than 24 hours to the Raw to this WrestleMania tag team match.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I guess
that you're like,
You know,
maybe the Hardys will return, and you're like, no, they won't.
right, and that's one of those things where it's like, obviously you know, for me, I had hoped it would have happened, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, it's gonna happen. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's like,
I can't
you
be that.
You don't want to get your hopes up for something like that, and then if it doesn't happen,
No,
you'll be disappointed.
We do that with the Rumble every year. We're like, Kurt Angle's going to return. Daniel Bryan's going to return. None of them return.
God, don't bring up the Rumble this year, please.
Oh, please.
We already did that, I think. Yeah, we did.
Forget about it.
I know everyone's favorite match was next, John Cena and Nikki Bella versus the Maurice and Miz.
Oh, this was my piss break match, finally.
Horrible, man.
Yeah.
How they beat Miz.
I
gotta say though, I mean that's another match that was, you know, love it or hate it, it was built up pretty solidly over the last couple of months.
It was hyped in a way that there's no way it could live up to the hype as a match.
And
I
it
knew
didn't.
that. It sure as fuck didn't. Yeah. But the hype was
Right,
cool.
but
like
like,
the talking smacks leading up to it were cool, but
Yeah, that was epic. It was just
that's
the match.
that's
itself.
about it.
Yeah.
But what kind of, like, how good could the match have been, really, though? I mean, when's the last time Maurice has been in the ring wrestling?
And she's still a better wrestler than both of the Bellas, bro. I'm sorry, Maurice is a better wrestler.
Well, she was.
That's
Well, okay, she was.
Back in her day, which was 7 years ago.
It has been. Okay. It has been.
That's debatable. I don't
Then
know about
again, I
that,
think
but-
in the last 7 years, I think the Bellas have declined as wrestlers.
Well, you know, what with the pregnancy and neck injury, that tends to do.
And larger amenities, you know, probably got in the way a little bit too.
Cena and Daniel Bryan being in the way. How dare they?
Yeah, because they're really, that association is really hurting their careers.
Yeah, the two of them can't wrestle. Worth a lick.
Jesus Christ.
One of them.
They can't work.
One of them.
Yeah. Although,
so-
although there is a family relation now for both of them to Mr. John Laurinaitis, and it all comes
There
back
sure
around.
is.
God.
That's
People
awesome.
power.
People power.
Honestly, though, a couple months ago, and Cory and you and I were talking about this, I predicted that they might do something where Cena proposes to Nikki at the end of it, and you know, which, hey, that was a feel good moment.
That's
you know,
all
depending on
anyone's
how you look
talking
at it.
about. Yeah, that's the only moment of that match.
But was it real?
No.
Who cares? Like,
Yeah.
does it matter whether they knew about it or not? It was still like.
And-
No, I
still
don't even
actually
mean that. I
happened, so.
mean, like, will he legitimately follow through with marrying her?
No.
Will there be a piece of paper filed in a courthouse?
Oh, I have a
Probably
feeling
not
that
after
he's
the
got
last
quite a
marriage.
few pieces of paper filed that he's going to have. In fact, there's a good chance that her lawyers are still probably reading over it all.
It's going to be a while before it goes down, and Total Divas has to film it.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, they could film it and them not actually legally be married.
I mean, Renee Young and Dean Ambrose got married before they did, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So I mean that was one of those things where it's like it didn't really matter who won. You could have still had that moment at the end, and like even if the Miz and Maurice won, it wouldn't have really made a difference. But
Much like
Yeah.
WrestleMania 27's main event, it didn't matter. Those two guys.
I mean, I thought it was fine for what it was. I don't know.
that sounds good.
I
It
can
was
think of
fine.
something that should have been on the pre-show, and it was that match.
Oh yeah, right.
Sorry.
I mean, ideally yes, but in
That'll
no
never
way.
happen, obviously, but, you know.
Yeah, like they're gonna put Cena on the pre-show.
And
Oh,
Pit-
screw that. Like, they're going to put Miz on the pre-show. I'm sick of
In a
hearing
perfect
Cena.
world, the pre-show is Cena and The Miz and Pitbull and Flo Rida. There's no need for any of that on the main show. Neville and Austin Aries goes on second to last.
A-double.
Wow.
Good
Just
stuff.
wishful thinking, wishful booking.
The smarkiness is so hard in here right now.
Smarky Mark.
So,
Exhale.
yeah.
So what up with gender?
Oh God.
Don't hinder Ginger's dick pics.
We shouldn't hinder.
Don't hinder Izzy and Ginger.
Oh, don't bring her into this.
It's too late.
Good God.
When's the rest of 3MB getting a push? Come on, man. Everybody but poor Heath.
I mean, looks like McIntyre is going to be the next top guy in NXT. So
God, his match tonight was so slow. So slow.
really, I didn't see it.
I mean, it was him and Andrade, but
I've never been a Drew McIntyre fan, dude. He's really has to do something drastic.
Oni made him look a little faster than he usually is last week, but his match tonight with Sam was kind of slow, man. I mean, granted, it was good. They were both really good, but
How do you think Heath Slater feels about his former 3MB members?
I think Heath is
branching
going to
out?
beat Brock for the belt, and it's going to be a 3MB domination kind of year.
Is that what
You
you
know.
think?
Yeah, totally
Let it
happening.
Let
Right.
it happen.
You talk about the biggest markout pop of our lives.
Heath Slater, Universal Champion.
It's when Heath beats Brock right there.
My God, Heath
That's
beat
like-
Brock.
It's like if Jeff got the belt over Undertaker in that ladder match back in the day. That's
Which
that
he
pop happening.
Which he should have.
Damn
Oh,
right.
that would have been amazing.
He clearly
Damn right.
should have.
But
Back-
yeah, next up we had Seth versus Triple H.
Seth
Who
Penis.
apparently is on. Yeah, it was great.
Do you want to talk about the intro, Jack?
Oh, leather pants.
Let's talk about it.
You want to describe it?
In detail. And slowly.
Please.
All right, okay, I'm ready.
It's a little too slow. No, Triple H came out apparently backed by a bunch of cops on bikes. I don't know how much they had to pay the Orlando Police Department to have that on there. I'm sure, I'm sure the rest of the town felt really safe knowing that the police force was in,
Yeah, that was the night to rob a place in Orlando, apparently.
pretty much.
There was armed military backstage that I thought was back there. My friend and I were speculating for either that or like Cena's entrance or something. They were holding machine guns, and turns out they were just hanging out backstage.
It was for Jinder's surprise entrance.
Somebody had to knock on Goldberg's door to get him out.
God,
So,
move him
Oh, my
closer to
God.
the damn fucking ring, man. Move him closer to the ring.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't have the little carts moving them up and down.
right, like WrestleMania 3.
Yep, and 6.
Epic.
Yeah. Anyone else find it ironic that Triple H was the only one riding the motorcycle to the ring? Meanwhile, the guy Seth Rollins with the bum knee has to walk all the way down there.
That is pretty funny. And that didn't occur to me.
I didn't even think about that. That's bad.
So, Triple H had a cool entrance. Stephanie was in her biker chick finest and
Love it, by the way.
looking good. Yeah.
He needs to wrestle more often.
I approve.
I like Biker Steph. They need to get a little Sons of Anarchy gang
She
going.
looked the best she's looked in a long time.
I was digging her outfit from last year too. That was
Agree.
That was a good
hell
one.
of a match.
But yeah, I thought that match was you talk about like a long build up, and when you talk about the Seth Rollins being part of the Authority, and that's been like a couple years in the making.
Dead silence.
Yeah,
Nothing?
a couple years.
It's been a bit.
Wow.
Nothing with Ronda Rousey either. She's a persona non grata.
What? Why is Ronda Rousey persona non grata?
She's irrelevant now. She lost. They don't want anything to do with her. She was at Mania 2 years ago. Did you forget?
It was.
With Stephanie? She just
With The
fucking
Rock?
threw her with an arm drag. They never followed up on that story.
Oh,
She never got her revenge.
She was at Raw
No, but
the night after, and that was it.
I don't know about her being persona non grata there. I feel like they would totally sign her if they could.
It's over. The window is closed.
Doesn't really matter with WWE. They would still try to milk it as long as they could.
Oh yeah,
I
this
think.
is the same company that had Jerry Springer on the network like a few months ago.
Sure, because he's hip with the kids, right?
Jerry Springer, fuck him.
Yeah.
Betty White hosting Raw.
Hey, that was epic.
That was pretty. That was a while ago.
What's going on back there?
Whoever's coloring.
The fuck is it with all the weird noises?
we hear you scratching out names on the list over there.
Jack fucking trolling us, man.
No, that's not coming from me.
Okay, there we go, sir.
Anyway.
You know, it shows you when someone is making noise on Skype.
Right.
So
So,
use that for your advantage.
So the Seth and Triple H match was really good, I thought. You know, he was really selling that knee injury the whole time, which I don't know how much of that was a shoot, or you know that he got injured again. I don't know if that was just something they added on later after the fact to add more tension to it. I don't really know, but I thought they told a good story. Obviously, Steph took like the big bump into the table.
That was cool. I dug it.
Yeah, I mean the whole crowd kind of came unglued at that point.
It was a good finish.
Which makes sense, because, like, really, you know, when you think about it, Steph is always, like, getting one over on the good guys, and, you know, none of the guys are going to hit her.
We need to enjoy the fact that she's been off TV for this long. It's like, I don't know the last time she's taken a break like that. And luckily, we got Kurt Angle in her absence.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like that's the big thing, where she takes, like, the big bump at Mania every year. Like, I think last year she got speared by Roman. Boy, that sounds dirty.
I'm sure she is getting speared by Roman one way or another.
Wow.
If they're anything like Hogan and Bubba.
Ouch.
Okay, this is kind of a tangent,
Oh
but have
my
you guys seen the Roman Reigns underwear they're selling for women?
No.
I have not.
I need to get me a pair.
It's the Roman Reigns logo on the ass, and right on the butthole it says "Hit hard, hit often."
That's
Totally
not
getting
real.
that for the wife.
That is
They're not really selling that.
I'm Googling it.
It's on Amazon.
I'm buying
looking
right now.
Yeah,
Is it on WWE though? .com?
My friend sent it to me. She's like, "Look at what we can buy." I'm like, "Yeah, right."
I'll be able to verify in a second there, Jack.
I'm on Amazon
I'm like, there's
myself.
there's no way WWE is officially putting that out.
Roman
Just
Reigns.
spell the last name.
Has to be
REIGN.
fan-made.
Okay. GNS. Panties.
I can't believe this is going to show up in my search history, though.
I'm buying
There it
them.
is.
They sure as shit are. Oh, it's from that company that puts anything on the back. They actually have some Bobby Roode ones, too. But I got one of his picture on your ass. I got one of the Hardy Boys logo.
Yeah, that's the Roman Reigns ripoff.
They've got some. Hold on. They've got some Roman Reigns boxers for men's too, with his logo on your ass.
Why am I
Interesting.
looking at this? This is bizarre.
I can't wait to
I
take our eyes
guarantee you
off.
that's probably one of the least disturbing things you've had on your search history this week, Brian. I
Well,
would guess.
that depends on who you ask.
Hey, if you scroll down some of the men's Roman Reigns boxers, it says "Believe that" right on your crotch.
Somebody-
That's great.
The first result I see is a
Spear.
picture of a cartoon picture of Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns hugging. It's really gay looking.
These are the worst panties in the world. These are like granny panties. Anyways, why are we talking about this?
All right, yeah. Thanks for that tangent.
I don't
Jen.
know.
You're
I
welcome.
really don't know.
Appreciate you.
So then we have the
Does the
WWE
Roman
Championship
Reigns
match.
logo look like Jeff's logo so much? Oh.
What the fuck are you talking about,
Roman
Jerry?
Reigns' logo looks like
Roman
Jeff
Reigns
Hardy's little logo.
has
Or
a
the Hardy
logo.
Boys logo.
That's true. It does look similar, which I mean, if you're going to copy a logo, the Hardy Boys one is a good one to copy. So the Roman Reigns logo doesn't actually look that bad, truthfully. But you know, I'm not really a fan of his, so that's the only
Roman
reason
Reigns.
why I wouldn't buy it.
This is one thing that's not that bad about him.
Yeah.
The logo.
Right.
Let's give him a break.
So Bray and Randy for the WWE Championship.
I love
dude.
I love the ring shit that was going on though. That was pretty awesome to see
you-
live. To see it
on
live.
TV?
No, to see it live, it looked. I mean, we essentially were looking at the Titantron right above the ring because you couldn't see shit because of the lights.
It was a cool effect, and I really loved Bray's entrance in there with just all the cell phone lights. Considering that the whole place went dark, and to see how bright everything was with all the cell phone lights,
The fireflies.
That was like surreal, man. That was incredible. Just to be in
Again,
to
yeah,
see that.
we have a different perspective because we were like outside. The weather was amazing. It was fucking dark out, so like shit looked cooler in person. But then you go and watch it on TV, and just another stupid fucking Bray Wyatt match.
That looked weird.
The match was.
What do you guys think of Randy Orton's sperm?
Coming down the ramp.
Yeah,
the snake.
he was
ring?
really upset about the
Cracking
sperm
up.
on the ramp.
Man, this is one X-rated podcast we have.
It really is.
I don't mind.
I didn't understand why the snake didn't have a head. It was just kind of like exactly what it looked like. It looked like a little sperm swimming down in the ring.
Little apex predators.
And it was timed perfectly, so he's like walking and floating on top of it kind of the whole way down to the ring. So it just like looked like Randy Orton riding the sperm down to the ring.
Nice. Out of nowhere.
That would be cool.
Out of somewhere.
The legend killer.
Wow.
Killing it as usual.
I felt like that. I felt like this match was a little bit lackluster, though. Like I felt
certainly was for the match, the build-up that they had, which the fucking Sister Abigail and the satanic rituals and shit. You're like, something cool's got to happen here. They made it way.
I mean, yeah, that was a really good build-up too.
It was awesome.
I mean,
the build-up was better than the match.
Build, you know, for the House of Horror match.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame they're not doing the House of Horror things at Mania, which, I mean, I don't even know how they would do that, because I don't even know what that's going to be. But I'm
still not crystal clear if the rematch is going to be for the title or not.
Yeah, according to TV last night, it was still for the title.
It's very confusing.
I thought they took that away.
I don't think they've made up their mind yet, to be honest.
And if Bray Wyatt wins,
I know they're kind of transitioning because of the shake-up thing that happened. I feel like Bray should have won that match at Mania, though.
Yeah, I don't need another Orton title run. Like, sorry. It's too many. And it doesn't make any sense.
Not only that, I mean, I think it just makes more sense in the context of the storyline. Because, like, when you think about it, like, it's pretty much been one-sided.
He killed Bray Wyatt's whole existence. The rocking chair, the fucking Sister Abigail, he destroyed the whole compound.
The whole point of the angle was, like, Randy joins Bray's, he joins the Wyatt family.
For a long time, too, not just 1 or 2 weeks.
For, like, a couple months, turns his back on the Wyatt family, burns his house down.
Out of nowhere, one day. Just one SmackDown, he decides...
and it's like, I guess because, like, Bray was kind of messing with him a little bit before that, and then... That's why Randy joined, to have this whole master plan, which was really a cool moment to see him burn the house down. But then it's like...
Now you got poor Harper and Rowan are back, and they don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, he does all that, breaks up the team, and then beats him. It's like, where does that leave Bray Wyatt now?
It's very odd. He's back with Braun Strowman on Raw.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need him, but that's back where he is now.
With that weird-ass new mask that he's wearing. Jeez,
Superstar Shakeup feels really rushed and unthought out. Like, we're just gonna... That's even the fact that they call it a Superstar Shakeup instead of a draft or a trade or something.
I mean, I have no problem with that, because I would rather have that than, like, a full-blown trade right after WrestleMania. At least this, like... Because they'll probably, like, do something like that in August, like around SummerSlam time. So this is, like, a good way to just at least make things a little bit different.
I mean,
so I don't have a problem with it.
I think the smart thing to do would have been to say, all right, for the next 12 weeks on Raw and SmackDown, every week somebody is going to be switching sides.
That's what they did in 2005, and it was cool as fuck. When Cena came out first, and then Carlito the next week, and then, somebody different than the following week. Make it like a 6 or 7 week thing. I don't know about 12 weeks. That's a bit much.
Yeah, maybe that's a bit much, but still, you could get way more TV out of that and get people to actually tune in.
Yeah, guys were just showing up. That. Their music was hitting, and then here they are. I'm on Raw now. It's very lackluster.
I like that idea though. Then we had the match that made pretty much the entire internet angry. Brock, at least in the build-up, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg.
The match that should never have been at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Only 20. Even then.
I don't even want to remember that match.
I gotta tell you though, this match, I mean,
it exceeded our very low expectations.
Yeah.
But like, I think they did exactly what they should have done out there, was just make it quick, make it very physical. I mean, you could tell those guys were really just like stiffing the crap out of each other.
I was thinking it was going fast. I was convinced it was just the main event of the evening.
I'm surprised it didn't, honestly. But obviously, knowing what we know now about the Taker thing, it makes sense in hindsight.
Yes.
So they had that, and Brock went over, which I thought was the right thing to do. I thought the match was great for what it was, honestly, and the crowd was super into it. you can't really expect much more than that.
Are they even now? The rivalry seems to be over. Goldberg is gone.
No, Goldberg's pretty much done for now. Brock is the champ for the time being. I don't know how long that's going to last, but
for years probably with his schedule.
I mean, he's going to drop it eventually to somebody, either via Money in the Bank screw job finish or I don't know. But,
one-man band, baby.
Yeah.
Tell you, this is...
Heath Slater wins Money in the Bank and then cashes in on Brock. That would be amazing. When he's laid out.
That would be pretty
Somebody
awesome.
would lay Brock out and then Heath Slater.
Rhino.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shit writes itself, folks.
It really does. By the way, in case you're keeping score, James Ellsworth was at WrestleMania.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
On the main show.
And rocked it
Dean
out.
Ambrose wasn't. Think about that. Think about that for a little bit.
Sounds really bad. And
He
Austin Aries.
rocked it out, man.
God bless him, man. James Ellsworth. What a year that guy has had.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It's probably his last.
I mean, it's like if I were him, and just live it up, man. Because this is pretty cool.
He's part of the Chick Squad now, as of last
Yeah,
night.
he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit the lottery.
Was anybody else last night wondering why Nia Jax was on SmackDown and then realized a little bit later that it was Tamina?
Tamina, the girl with no last name.
I hadn't noticed, I guess. I apologize because I love Tamina. But I hadn't noticed that she was so big still. And I swear to God, I couldn't figure out what Nia Jax was doing there and why her face looked so different.
I think her and Nia are related somehow.
Yeah, of course.
Well, neither of them are like most girls. We've established that.
Oh, jeez.
They're starting to look similar to each other now.
Neither am I. If I wear that T-shirt, I'm not like most girls.
That's true. That's true, Brian. You are not like most girls.
Actually, that'd be a pretty smoking tag team, I bet. Tamina and Nia.
Oh my God, they would destroy everybody.
That'd be kind of brutal. I like it.
That's why they're on separate shows, because it's too beautiful to happen.
Yes.
The female authors of pain.
Oh God.
Pretty much.
There goes that. Never mind.
By the way, am I the only person who wants? Am I the only person who wants to see like a film segment where it's like Braun and Nia Jax go out on a date?
You are the only one. Yes, I will verify
Yeah,
that.
you're the only one.
Okay, all right, just checking, just making sure.
As usual.
I thought that comedy would write itself, but I guess not.
Don't you dare give them any ideas from the studios that brought you Knucklehead.
You can't blame me for that.
The Chaperone.
You can't blame me for that either.
The Chaperone is
evil.
on Netflix. Yeah. The list continues.
Now I wish you guys just kept blaming Jinder and Seth on stuff that didn't happen.
It's still
Instead
Jinder
of
and
me.
Seth's fault.
It's not my fault.
Don't hinder the Phoenix Report.
No. We do a pretty good job of that on our own.
Yeah, we hinder ourselves. Thank you.
We're staying on
Pretty much.
complete topic. What are you talking about?
Don't hinder the Roman Reigns panties.
Jesus Christ! This show makes Talking Shop look like the McLaren Report. Makes it sound like ABC News. Anyway, Naomi won, by the way.
Who?
Which was cool. I like Naomi.
Naomi won what?
Oh, Trinity.
On that
They
match?
really need to change her name.
Well, besides winning my heart, Naomi won the women's championship match.
And winning the best ass in WWE contest.
Fantastic.
Number-
Yeah.
It's down to her and JoJo.
Number 1, 2, and 3.
Mhm.
JoJo wins.
Okay.
I think Harlequin
There you
won,
go.
but whatever.
We have a win.
I gotta say, I really like Naomi's entrance. Like it played really well there with the set and everything. I think it looked awesome. Obviously, it's a feel good moment with her being from Orlando. It was cool. I mean, it's a shame you couldn't really give everybody equal entrance time, but just that ramp is so freaking long. So I understand it.
It gave us enough time to sing lyrics over songs that didn't have lyrics in them.
That we did.
That's another thing Jack and I do when we go to a live event.
We are notorious for entrance theme karaoke.
We did it with Umaga back in the day, with the Beth Phoenix theme back in the day.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The Gallows and Anderson theme, I gotta say, is a favorite of ours.
I do remember
I
that.
like that. I actually listened to that. It's on my Spotify playlist.
It doesn't sound good on TV, but when you hear it It sounds better.
It's a pretty good song.
I keep
don't know who
rocking
the band
Tommy
is
Inn's
that
new
does that,
theme.
but-
Who?
I keep rocking Tommy Inn's new theme on my Spotify.
Oh, right on.
Oh, he's Tommy End is now Alistair
Sorry,
Black.
I keep doing that. Alistair, spelled weird, Black, yeah.
Which
Yes,
I gotta say, I mean, we
CFO
all kind
rocked
of
it
grown
out.
about the WWE name generator, but that's a pretty badass ring name.
It's not bad. They just didn't want people, chanting the normal Tommy Inn chants, man. There's a little too much cussing involved. They had to change it.
Did
you really-
What's in the normal Tommy End jams?
Usually it's everybody in the crowd screaming, Tommy fucking end, constantly, the whole fight. Very loud.
Yeah, he actually was on the UK tournament under the name Tommy End.
Yes.
So.
Dude, I don't think they're worried about chance after that treatment, and this is jumping ahead a little bit, that Roman Reigns got on Raw the night after WrestleMania. Oh, my God.
Yes,
God.
you're
That was
welcome.
That was extremely non-PG, and I loved it.
That
I
was one
could
of
barely speak after we screamed that as long as we
I
did.
can only imagine 10 minutes of
that
Roman
was the
Reigns.
first Roman Reigns promo that I liked.
Yeah, dude. It was actually fucking well done.
One word,
on
out.
his part.
Awesome.
He handled
Like-
the champ.
Yeah, I was there. A bunch of us were there the night after on Raw at the Amway Center, and just like the amount of insane hatred that people feel for Roman
Like
Reigns.
murderous hatred.
Yeah,
It
but
is ridiculous.
Barely trying. It's awesome.
But wait, like I was talking about this with Janelle. Like, do you really? For us personally, it's not that we hate him as a person or even his. I don't know. I think it was more like therapy. Like the Undertaker's gone and we're angry. Not necessarily like we really hate you for being the one that did it.
Right. 'cause
I don't
it's
know.
like-
For us, that's what it was.
What did they expect? I think that's exactly what they expected. Is what it has to be what they wanted. You know,
Like it's the weirdest thing. Like going back to the match though for a little bit with Reigns and Taker. It was definitely a tough thing because Taker is getting up there and he was having a hard time moving around in the ring, but I thought they made the best out of it. Or I mean, there were a couple
Other
spots
than the
here and there
pile
that didn't
driver
work.
botch. I mean,
couple botches. Yeah, that's to be expected in a Taker match when he's pushing 50.
yeah, I don't think anybody
I mean,
cared. I don't think anybody cared about
No,
it.
Taker's
I hate
the only guy that can get away with it. Like nobody gets.
I even hate to use the word botch because it's such a fucking smarky IWC term, but yeah,
But-
I mean, I guess that's. But yeah, no, that's what they did.
To be fair, Roman was probably blown up just from walking down the whole ramp. Okay.
It's not that far off. Taker didn't have to do
and
the full
Taker
walk.
didn't have to. So
Yeah,
you
he
know?
came up through the ramp, which
Yeah.
was a cool sight to see.
Yeah,
Him
that was
coming out
cool.
of the ramp.
I was pretty happy about that.
And
They
he's
did
got
that right.
he's got no pallbearer or no urn anymore, no druids, so it's just him coming up out of the fucking ramp one last time. Which, if it is his last time, that means Jack and I saw Flair and Undertaker's last matches in the same fucking arena, which sucks, but it's also kind of cool
Oh, that's cool.
at the same time.
Me too.
I don't think that's going to be Undertaker's last match.
It's going to be his last match as Taker.
Well, how's he going to come back from it?
He's
Mean Mark.
he's done with the gimmick.
Don't tell me the fucking biker shit again.
I don't think that's the case either. I don't think he's. I mean, he can come back as just the Undertaker.
What's Mean Mark Callis doing in the Impact
What
Zone?
was it?
Right,
Oh,
exactly.
stop.
No, what was the significance of the fucking taking off the hat? Which he has. Apparently, he did that last year. He took off his gloves and he laid him in the ring in Houston or Dallas. So it's not the first time he's done it, but he took off the robe, or not the robe. It's not.
Apparently, the word is that he's done with the gimmick and he doesn't want to do the Undertaker gimmick anymore.
Because he's struggling with it now.
Yeah.
So if he finds himself struggling, he could have done that after Brock beat him, and it would have made perfect sense. Like,
Right.
you lost.
Well, he's practicing for Magic Mike 3. He's taking Kevin Nash's place. Obviously, he's taking his clothes off in the ring.
Oh my god.
Are we going to see Broken Taker soon?
More nudity discussion. Now it's Undertaker's penis. There you go. Put that in your.
Does Michelle McCool call it Mean Mark?
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Michelle McNot cool.
Wow.
I got nothing.
We've had there's
I'm
been a
going to
lot.
inject my show with a
crotch jokes.
lethal dose of poison. That's pretty much what I'm doing to my own podcast.
I think a better ending would have been DDP coming out at the end and revealing he's stalking Michelle McCool.
Again?
Yes.
Like, God damn it, Paige.
I was at that show in Tampa when he did that.
I was totally at that same show and at the Ice Palace.
Awesome.
I was there, man. I've never missed
that.
Or is he not stalking her? Is he just teaching her yoga?
It looks like yoga. It's like
very aggressive yoga salesman.
Like the way Trish was showing Triple H how to do that hold, and Stephanie walked in backstage. Why do I remember all this stupid shit?
Lucky bastard.
Yeah, it's more Stephanie.
Okay. Let's talk about Canadian.
But yeah, so yeah, that was it for WrestleMania. I thought it was a good show. I was satisfied with being there. I mean, there's something about being there in person.
It was pretty fucking cool.
It really is. I mean, there's really nothing like it. I mean, as far as the production level, like I've been to a bunch of like great concerts in my life and a lot of great like live events. This is just there's nothing like it.
Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that.
It was. I mean, it's cool enough where I'm actually contemplating going to New Orleans. I wouldn't mind going to see it again next year. New Orleans is a cool fucking place to go. I went there in 2014 just to see Warrior inducted. I didn't go to WrestleMania, but sure glad I made that trip. In retrospect,
Brian.
I'm going to
kill
New
the Ultimate
Orleans.
Warrior.
What's that?
Brian, did you kill the Ultimate Warrior?
No, Hulk Hogan did when he shook his hand. Everyone knows that.
Conspiracy, brother.
Shook his hand and sucked the life right out of him. Because he's a fucking demon. He's a
brother.
He's a male succubus.
Demon brother.
Strong words for Hootie.
That's not being a very brotherly brother.
Never have been a brother.
Brother.
I'm a warrior and a maniac. Macho maniac.
You're an ultimate maniac.
And a hot Scot.
What's a hot Scot?
That's a hot rod mention.
Oh, okay.
Half of me is black, half of me is white.
And we're right back to racial stuff now.
It's got a good gimmick.
Excellent. Well, I guess that's where we'll end this one.
That's a wrap, folks.
I guess there's really nothing left to say.
All three.
No, but we were at. I know Jen and I were both at the Raw the night after, and just, I mean, oh my God, like you would have thought Roman Reigns had murdered a child.
He might have.
He did.
Yeah, my childhood.
The child in me.
The child in all of us.
Oh, fuck your child in the face.
Whoa.
He might have. I think that's what he did to all of us.
Whoa, is it Tom Phillips? Is that you?
Yes, Tom Phillips is doing that.
Tom Phillips.
That's right. That's the deal.
Epic.
SmackDown was pretty good, too. I went to SmackDown.
Yeah, I heard like Shinsuke Nakamura and Ziggler had like a dark match at SmackDown. How was that, Jen?
The pacing was a little off. I don't think Dolph really was expecting strong style. I don't think he knew what to do with it.
You never expect strong style.
It was off, but it was good.
It's like the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody expects it.
Damn, Jen went to wrestling for a straight week.
Yes.
Every night.
She really did.
So important.
That's crazy. Every night.
Yes.
Good for you. YOLO.
She spent more money there than Izzy's parents. That's a shoot.
That's not possible.
It really is, probably.
Yeah. How dare she?
How dare she?
So predictions for next year's WrestleMania?
Someone dies.
Nakamura versus Styles Part 2.
I hope so. My God, I hope so.
They really should go all out, yeah.
I'm going to the debut of King Ricochet, obviously under another name.
Yes, that would be nice.
It's happening.
I'm going to say the main event will be Shane McMahon versus the Red Rooster for nostalgic
hell yeah.
reasons.
Yes.
Because you got to have Shane in there, and then you got to have somebody you don't expect coming back. So that's the way to go.
How about Shane versus like Teddy Hart?
There you go. The Hearts and the McMahons feuding.
Is he even alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Him and his cats.
Now that you think about it, Shane against Teddy Hart would probably be freaking epic.
Hell yeah, it would.
Anything to climb on anywhere.
There's no fucking way it's going to happen. That's why
No, never. He sells weed now. That's his job.
Good for him. Him and Valdez.
And apparently he's very good at it, so good for him.
He's doing the Lord's work.
He is doing the Lord's work.
I appreciate Teddy, the entire Hart clan.
That's Lord Alfred Hayes, of course.
The Lord. or Lord Lorde.
Ah, yes.
She'll never. Randy Marsh.
Somewhere RVD and Sabu are emailing him for bookings.
RVD and Sabu. I saw them at WrestleCon, but I didn't get a chance to say hello. I did get yelled at by Vader, which was interesting. When I had a camera going and I was just scanning, scanning the room, and he said, "Hey, try to make a living here, brother." I was like, "All right." Turned the camera off, and then he got up and
away slowly.
Walked away. It was so weird seeing them go in and out of the fucking public bathroom all day. Like Warlord coming out with his face paint on and shit. You're like, what the fuck is going on? It's just like wrestlers everywhere. I kind of wish I was there and I didn't know.
It's crazy. I mean, Vader being there, he is not long for this world.
He looked okay. Certainly looked like he wasn't. A lot of those guys, it's just like a depressing aspect I didn't expect to get into, but a lot of them do not look good, like up close. Like it's jarring. It's like
the man pushed his own eyeball back into his head in the middle of a match. Vader will be here for a while.
Looks like somebody put Scott Steiner in the dryer.
Steiner.
The Sandman looked ill.
Sandman's always looked ill, though.
He looked like really like.
Isn't that his thing?
No.
When has Sandman ever looked good?
I can't believe that's the Sandman.
Time ago.
Some of these guys were like, my God, the Nasty Boys. They look terrible.
Always.
I mean, they've always have, but still.
I was about to say, when did Brian Knobbs look?
He's
anywhere near human.
He's
Brian
like knocking on death's door. He should be. Marty Jannetty looked good.
Of course.
Really?
He's healed from the barbershop window.
That's a relief. It only took 27 years.
But I mean, on a side note,
he was on TV since then. Don't forget.
If you get a chance to go to one of these fucking WrestleCons, man, you should, because you never know when the fuck you get a chance to see. Like Rosie died a few days after it, and he was booked to be at it. So if you're even the slightest wrestling fan, it's just open venue to just go up, talk to them, take a picture of them. Some of them charge you, an exorbitant amount, but for the most part, I paid like $15 for Brutus Beefcake, picture, and a Jake the Snake where he flicked off the camera was $20. So it was like, that's $20 well spent, if you ask me.
That's priceless.
Yeah, that's fucking great.
I ain't giving Jake no money.
Yeah, I know what he's gonna do.
I'm just.
I don't mind. I'd smoke a joint with Jake any day.
Oh, that's fine. Any day, as long as it's just that.
Iron Sheik gets involved, then you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Party.
There's probably so much cocaine going on throughout that.
And Soma.
Yeah. So Soma's cocaine and
all right.
replaced by Propecia, Lipitor, and Viagra.
And weird videos being shot.
Lipitor.
Well, they're getting up there,
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's true,
brother.
So Roman Reigns, like, if they don't turn this guy heel, like, come on.
Wait, Roman isn't a heel yet?
Like,
Braun Strowman killed him
for all intents and purposes.
Now we're supposed to feel sorry for him because Braun fucking pushed him over in an ambulance.
I guess. I mean,
killed him. Took his job.
And remember, the announcers let you know. The announcers let you know that while he was at home recovering from that, his brother died. So now you feel even worse.
Yeah,
that was kind of weak sauce.
It's like fucking storyline timing.
Yeah, that was horrible. They wrote it into the storyline yesterday. Seriously, it was horrible.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what to say about that.
I don't know where it's going, but I don't like it. I know that. No, sir, I don't like it.
Nope. No, you don't. Well, anyways, I think we've pretty much said everything we need to about WrestleMania. I can't believe we got 2 hours out of this.
Yeah, you can edit a lot of this shit out.
Which is probably an hour and 45 minutes longer than this needed to be. But,
yeah, just match number 1. Can't believe he won. Match number 2. Holy shit. Match number 3.
All right.
Maybe next year.
Pretty much. Like I said, we kind of played around with the format a little bit versus what we did last year where we were just covering everything. So this was just such a different thing because a lot of us were there and we just wanted to talk about our experiences. And I think we did a pretty good job conveying that. It was a great weekend.
Hey,
I had a blast.
2 hours of podcast for a 7-hour show is not that bad, if you ask me.
No, not that bad.
Started at 5:30 and we ended up walking out of there around 12:30. So
Glad
Holy
you guys
shit.
got to go, man. I'm glad y'all had a good time.
It was fun.
Very cool. So thank you guys for joining, creating this panel of super fans. Cory, where can they find all the stuff you're doing right now with Chronocord?
You can find us at chronocord.com. That's CHRONOCHORD.com, or at youtube.com/chronocord.
And you're on Twitter as well?
On Twitter at chronocord. We're on SoundCloud. We're on all over the place.
Definitely. Chronocord does a lot of really cool instrumental music. It's Cory and a mutual friend of ours, Justin, on just all kinds of keyboards and guitar and production, and they do a lot of really cool stuff. So definitely go check out their music if you can. Brian, I think you're on Twitter at BrianBrycon27.
Pass.
Still?
Pass.
Okay. All right.
I'd like to take the physical challenge, please.
That's not what this
wow.
is. It's not what this is, Santino. Calm down.
Santino.
Yeah. That's a Price is Raw reference. Anyway, Jeremy, where can they find info about you and Generation Food Truck?
Generation Entertainment now, brother. You can find us
yeah.
on Twitter. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on every social media, it seems. /Generation Food Truck, and you can find out everything you need to know about the world's largest food truck rally, Hemp Fest, Chocolate Fest, Grilled Cheese Fest, and every other beautiful thing we do.
Grilled Cheese Fest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grilled Cheese Fest.
He's definitely expanding into a lot of different food truck rallies and now live events. He puts on concerts as well.
Yeah, you get
Hemp Fest, I know, has been a project of yours for a long time.
Did I
All the
hear
way
you
up to the
say
Great Lakes.
Did you say entertainment now? It's called entertainment.
Yeah, we are Generation Entertainment now because
So
we're
you
actually doing a lot more things than just Food Fest.
So you can get the F out for food
I
trucks.
could get the F out.
It's now E, not F.
Damn pandas. What's wrong with them?
Panda.
Very cool. Jen, I know you still have. Are you still on Twitter and still have your blog?
I'm still on Twitter. I haven't blogged lately. I'm Brunette Bunny 85, but I'm at all the local NXT shows. You can also find me there.
Sweet.
Sweet.
There you go. Yeah, you'll find Jen somewhere there, and hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe working for Impact again. I don't want to jinx it, but that'd be awesome if you got that job again.
We'll see.
Yeah, love that owl. Love that owl.
You
Yeah,
never know.
love that owl.
That's what
Love Scott Steiner.
I'm bringing it back. Bringing it back.
All right, wow, a lot of Impact love tonight. Was not expecting that. Yeah, you can always find me on Twitter at jackxconnor. That's JACKXCONNOR. My band Vertebreaker at vertebreaker.net. Also at vertebreakerfl on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/jackconnormusic. Definitely email us at jackconnorpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to this, leave a message, I should say leave a comment, like the video, go back and listen to all the other podcasts that we've done. We cover wrestling, we cover music, we cover movies, a lot of different stuff on this. It's definitely not all the same. This is just one of many different kinds of episodes we have here on the Phoenix Report. Thank you guys so much for joining for the Phoenix Report. I'm Jack Connor, along with Brian, Jeremy, Jen, and Cory. Thank you guys for joining in. Hope you enjoyed WrestleMania weekend. And as a great man once said, don't forget to kick out at 2. Bye.
Peace.